Time to catch up with our friends in the UPSL. Remember, matchups tonight for the last four chasing after a national championship. And the matchups for the tournament, once again, this is going to be at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. And so the matchups tonight are our friends from the national finals. Once again, that you're going to have – no, that is not what's – I want the schedule. It's like I'm looking for the schedule here. So August 11, no, national. Okay. 6 o'clock, it is Rochester, NYFC, and Soda City. That's at 6. And at 9 o'clock tonight in the national side, it is the other two sides. It is Inland Empire and Dodge City Toros. So yesterday, we caught up with Rory Charcholla, and he is the head coach at Rochester, NYFC, and he was getting ready for a lot of folks moving around because he was heading to practice, and we caught him before the show, and he was getting ready for practice and getting ready for everybody to drive down from Rochester down to Pittsburgh for the matches tonight. So here's our interview with Rochester NYFC head coach Rory Charcholla as they get ready for the last four this weekend here in the UPSL. Time to catch up with one of the four participants heading to Pittsburgh and getting ready for the UPSL championships. And the last four, right now, it is top seed. That's what they're saying, top national seed, and they've made it to the last four. Catching up with Rochester NYFC head coach Rory Charcholla. Coach, thanks for dropping by in a very, very busy week.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
All right, so if you and I had talked before the spring season had started, and I had told you that this would be the current situation, that you're prepping through even more chaos to get ready for a trip to Pittsburgh to chase after a national title, what would you have told me?
I would have thanked you. Because I think we'd have been better prepared for it with all the roster rules with, our program's a U23 program. So these are college guys. So, we've got all of our guys that are Division I college players are ineligible because the NCAA guidelines, they'd lose their eligibility for the fall. So being that start date was, I believe, Tuesday or Monday of this week, we probably would have rostered some more of the academy guys, paid the registration fee and had more of them available. But no, I think if you told me that, I'd have been thrilled and taken it. So, it's been a cool year for us.
How cool has it been since you opened that door? I'll go ahead and ask.
No, I mean, listen, this is our second year in. Our division, Western New York, is a tough division. There's a lot of good teams. Last year was our first year in, and, we learned a bit. The program's been around. This is its fifth year. So for 3 years, we just trained our alums who were looking for more than just, playing UPSL, USL2, NPSL over the summer. They wanted more training like they got from us when they were academy players. So when we added it last year, adding games, it was some growing pains. There's some overlap with the academy season. And this year we restructured it and really attacked it. And I think we had it set up really well to go in and win the league, which was our goal. We wanted to, have a bigger platform to shout from in our market to kind of let people know what we're doing on the academy side. So, the target was to win the division. What happened from there, we really didn't even think too much about. And so it's been cool that we've been able to host, get some decent crowds and youth from the market and watching them. And, then going down and winning Cleveland, the New York Renegades group was a very, very good team. So, soccer, you got to ride a bit of the luck. And we've definitely gotten that. And so it's cool to go down to Pittsburgh with, a unique group of some of the guys who've done it, some youth guys, some other guys, and give them the opportunity and see what happens.
I was going to ask, how much of a challenge has it been for you and the staff to assemble a roster, knowing what we've just talked about guidelines and collegiate eligibility? How much of a challenge has it been for you guys to assemble a roster to get you ready for Pittsburgh?
I mean, it's been a challenge. I mean, we started preseason this week for the academy. We do a pre-academy camp. So for, kids that are in zone 1, 9, 10, 11, 12 is this week. And, then you're dealing with the guys that are leaving, which is awesome. The U23 program is to get them ready for their next college season. So we're thrilled with what they've done and the way they've represented the club this summer. But, 13 guys from the previous 3 rounds, they're ineligible, there's 8 guys going this weekend that, played no part in the national playoff games, and 6 guys will start their first national playoff game. So we didn't finalize the roster literally till about yesterday. But that said, we've had 44 guys play for the program this summer. So it's the next guy up. These guys that are going, some of them have played against MLS Academy teams, guys that have played Next Pro, so you take what you've got and you go give it your best shot. So, we're missing guys and we're hoping they'll be on watching, supporting the group. And hopefully, we show our way, we're good people. We show our style of play. And, if we continue with a little bit of that luck, maybe we're playing in the final on Sunday.
For those that don't know, some of us of a certain vintage do know about the history of Rochester, New York, and what it means to the soccer footprint here in the United States. For someone who isn't of a certain vintage, and I'll point to myself for those watching the video version, how would you describe what soccer means to Rochester and that particular part of New York?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the Rhinos back in their heyday and winning the Open Cup, there's been a bit of a void. We had, the first team in Next Pro here for a year. So, I think like any market, you think your market is the market. But yeah, there's, I think, a need for something maybe here professionally in Western New York. I mean, you see on the football side, American football, I'm speaking, with the Bills and the big following they get. But I think it's also just, sometimes we all live in our own bubble, and for our bubble of the academy, getting our guys together, it's been really cool for those guys to come together and play. I mean, Western New York soccer, the Rhinos, it's great, but also we're a small market. Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse are small cities compared to New York, Boston. So for our academy, which was Empire United and now is RNYFC, we go play in the big markets, and it's difficult. It's difficult for these guys growing up playing, Boston, New York market. So now to be able to come together, get the best guys together, over the spring, summer, and play for something is really cool. Because as youth, we could get our butts whooped once in a while. And so now being able to be on the other end of that, it's unique, it's cool, it's exciting.
Stylistically, when you're going up against Soda City coming up this weekend, I guess this is time to play soccer match game. When things are going well for us out on the pitch, offensively and defensively, style of play wise, how would you describe what Rochester NYFC does out there on the pitch?
Yeah, we want to be proactive. We want to be the protagonist, whatever you call it. We're going to, it's not as deep of a roster as we've had every game this year with the college guys away, but we're going to still try and press. We're going to still try and play from the back and build out. We'll have to at times defend deep. The best teams in the world, your Man Cities, Real Madrids, you have to, the game has ebbs and flows. So it's not like we're going to be all over them or them all over us. But we're going to try and play our way, whether it's, a regular league game or, a national semifinal. We'll try and be on the front foot and be proactive and, play together as a team.
Do you, in a situation like this, with all the stuff that we've been talking about when it comes to assembling a match day 18 or 20, do you focus more on yourself? How much studying do you do of the opposition? How do you navigate the challenges that we've been talking about and still prep for a national semifinal?
Yeah, it's a unique one. It's a unique one all summer, because it's a college program. We're trying to get them better for college. So obviously what we do is going to be different from what their college coach does. How we want to play and showcase ourselves to our market doesn't really always relate to the opponent, but at the same time, myself, our staff, Gianluca Cuomo, Aiden Miller, Andrew Lill, these guys who do a ton behind the scenes, we'll watch all these games. We'll show a few clips, but we want to make it about ourselves. So internally to the staff, we do a lot of prep. Externally to what we're doing in training with the guys and what we show them, we make it more about ourselves than about the opponent.
Rory Charcholla, head coach of Rochester NYFC, getting ready for a national semifinal, the last 4 in the UPSL, getting ready for a trip to Pittsburgh. When you have the roster assembled, you know what your roster is going to look like. For those who will be drifting in for the first time to watch, who are some of the folks that they may gravitate toward that are watching the Final Four, the last 4? Who are some of the folks that naturally folks will be gravitating toward where Rochester NYFC is concerned?
That's a difficult question. It's always for us, we over me. The team's the star. There's two guys that are joining us. Their first starts, I think, their first starts of the entire campaign for us. Kamal Ibrahim and Alex Vega. Other than those two, though, the rest of these guys are all alums of the program or academy guys. So, Jamison Rayleigh at the 10, Aiden Burke is going to be a winger. Tanner Bay is a 1999 with Zach Dreyer, who both graduated years ago. Both guys who coach in the program. You'll see them listed on the roster as player coaches. These guys have been with us, the entire year. Tanner's in med school. Zach Dreyer's applying. These guys, they have jobs. Roman Novi Marks will be playing with us, another alum. Jake Schaefer, who just graduated this past spring from Yale. And then there's two more alums, Nick Swanger, Tyler Moran. These are two guys that played with us. They graduated in 2020. So they were on a very good academy team in the old U.S. Soccer DA that made a national quarterfinal. They played with two guys that are both in with Orlando City, Giorgio Koshevsky and Abdi Salim, and they never got to play in that national quarterfinal because the pandemic, of course, took more than soccer away from us as a society. But those guys never got to realize that they're playing at a local University of Rochester Division III. So that they get to play in this, which is cool. So I can't point to anyone. I'm excited for the group. I didn't mention Sam Auditori, who will start his first game of the playoffs. He's a guy who was an Academy U19 player this year. So, I think the group is going to be the star. I'm hopeful that's what people are excited when they watch us. Like, okay, these are some younger guys. These guys are playing college. They're playing against men. They compete well, good people, try and own the ball, and are enjoyment to watch, enjoyable to watch.
What's it like to have everything come full circle with all of these individuals who, when they leave the program, then you have these opportunities? What's it like to have everybody circle back to sit there and say, yeah, I want to come back and be a part of something that I was a part of when I was growing as a soccer player?
I mean, to be honest, it's why we do it. It's the most enjoyable part. The academy season in MLS Next starts. I mean, we're in preseason now, so it starts in September. It goes till June. When we're playing on Sundays, home or away here in July, I wouldn't say as staff, our families are thrilled that our summer weekends have more coaching in soccer. So, but because of the guys, I mean, they show up, when we train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, we've got 25, 30 guys showing up. Some of these guys never make a roster, and, they show up, they put in a shift. It's fun to work with them because they want to be here. They want to get better. And then when we go put a roster out, we play on the weekend, especially the home games. These guys will stay after, have pizza and wings and a drink. Some of them are here for 2-3 hours in our facility after a game, just chopping it up, being together. So it's been a pleasure. It's fun working with these guys, no matter which group we've got. And that's why we do it.
Coach, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that the challenges of the week become less and less and less as you get closer and closer to Pittsburgh. Thanks for dropping by. I know it's an incredibly busy time on a bunch of different fronts because I know all of the different hats that you have. I know that you probably have to use both sides of the business card with everything that you do there at Rochester NYFC. Good luck this weekend as you travel to Pittsburgh, take on Soda City in the Final Four. The last four in the UPSL National Finals. Thanks for dropping by the morning show. Good luck. We'll catch up with you soon, my friend.
Thank you for having us, John.